229 BKFC athlete Paige Shans here, and you're watching Cage Side with Christopher James.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuit. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Fill up the deuces. There you go, baby.
Hey, what's going on, boys and girls? Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to Cage Side with Christopher James. I am Christopher James, and you're not. I stole that from Dennis Miller. That was his tagline. My apologies, but I had to do it. Anyway, good evening, welcome, and good to see you. Well, I can't say good to see you guys because I don't see you guys right now. You guys can see me, but, you know, that's the way it goes. So I'm doing well today. I hope everybody else is as well, and we are ready to get this party started. So before we get rolling here, I just got to share this out. I found this new feature in here too that I can you guys can hear some music in the background, right? Big weekend we had this weekend. We had 3 events on Saturday. We had UFC from London. We had BKFC here in Tampa. And we had XMMA 5 live from South Carolina. Lots of fights, lots of crazy fun. You guys like the music? Music is Jim. Can you guys hear the music? What do you think? You like the background music? I've got different versions of different music here I can play for you guys. Did that fucking do it? Oh, there we go. All right, let me turn the music off. Oh, here we go. We're live. We're live. I forgot we're live, so we're here. So like I said, we had a big event this weekend, Bare Knuckle, UFC, XMMA, all putting on shows. And 34 fights total. I watched from noon till midnight or 12:30, whenever it all ended. It was crazy. It was a lot of fun, a lot of fights. And I got to tell you, I didn't want to talk about anything fight related on Sunday. It was definitely a lot of action going on. And I had a good time. We had some really good fights. I enjoyed the hell out of them. I hope you guys did too, if you caught all the action. I'm just sharing this out to some groups right now. Give me just a second, boys and girls. So, did you guys watch fights? What was your favorite fight over the weekend? All right, so we got all that out of the way. So we're going to have Mike Perry joining us in just a couple of minutes, former UFC star and current BKFC star, ahead of his big bout against MVP at BKFC 27 in London, August 20th, available exclusively on the BKTV app. Yep, that's right, BKTV app, man. It's going to be awesome. If you haven't gotten the app yet, it's $4 a month. Get the app. I watched this last weekend's event. A lot of people complain about the app on BKTV, but I'm going to tell you, I watched the event on my phone and on my Roku box on my big screen in the living room, and I had no issues at all with the app whatsoever this past weekend, which made me very, very happy. So if you had problems with the app, sometimes you just got to refresh your screen and get that popping over there, and then you have no issues. It's really quite simple. So, sometimes refresh the app, sometimes you got to log out, log back in. They just changed the whole platform of the app. So if you haven't been able to watch it, you got to log out, you got to log back in with your new password and all that other good stuff. But the fight streamed, for me, at least for me, seamlessly this past week. So I'm happy that BKFC is, on top of that. They did, promise everybody a free month that couldn't get the last event before this one. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of the kindness of BKFC. That's a lot of money that they're willing to give away. And it's awesome. So we'll be waiting for Mike Perry to join us any minute. I'm just texting him now. Ready when you are. So hopefully he'll pop on here in time. I am going to be smoking some ganj today because that's what I do during the show. I have this one right here. Nice blend. There's 3 different kinds of weed in here. It's funny because it's green. So it kind of picks up on the camera like it wants to green screen. Let me see. See how it's like pixelating in there? That's because it's green. Trying to use the green screen on my weed. That's pretty dope. That means I got some good shit. But everything in there is 29% and higher, which I love. Also going to be drinking me an IBC. Black cherry. Don't get it a lot, but once in a while I just feel the need to get it. So I have a green cocktail. So hopefully Mike will be popping up here any second. We set a time for 5:30, so hopefully he'll be on here in just a minute. Yeah, the UFC fights. Let me pull up the results here real quick while we're waiting for Mike. So we had 14 fights out of the UFC card. Nicholas Dalby defeated Claudio Silva. Victoria Leonardo defeated Mandy Bohm. Jai Herbert defeated Kyle Nelson. Mohamed Mokaev defeated Charles Johnson, 29-28, 29-28, 29-28. Jonathan Pierce, who won a bonus, defeated Makwan Amirkhani. TKO strike at 4:10 of the second round. Nathaniel Wood defeated my man Charles Rosa. Mark DeCasey defeated Damir Hadzovic. Unanimous decision, 30-26, 30-26, 30-27. Ludovic Klein defeated Mason Jones via unanimous decision, 30-27 times 3. Volkan Ozdemir defeated Paul Craig via unanimous decision. Paul Craig was just trying to pull guard the whole fight. It was really ridiculous. Molly McCann did it again. Spinning back elbow started the end of the night for Hannah Goldie. But Molly McCann, another TKO win back-to-back in London. And then the girl got tanked on Hallerhead. Man, she was funny. She was so funny at the press conference. She was tanked. Tanked, I tell you. Patty Pimblett, or Nikita Krylov defeated Alexander Gustafsson. Gustafsson needs to retire. There's no other way to say it. And it's not up to me to decide who should and shouldn't retire. But Gustafsson needs to retire. He's done. He said he came back to light heavyweight and that this is his division. And this is his division. The showing he put on the other night was horrible, and it's not his division anymore. I think he just needs to step aside, retire, and he's a Hall of Famer, so just, move on. Patty Pimblett, wow, the crowd rocked for this guy. The Scalza, they love him in London. Very Conor McGregor-esque vibe in the building when Patty made his entrance. He defeated Jordan Leavitt via submission, rear naked choke at 246 of round number 2. And the way he trapped Leavitt's arm in that body triangle was sick. Co-main event, Jack Hermanson defeated Chris Curtis. And Curtis Blades gets the win against Tom Aspinall. It kind of was a very uneventful fight, 15 seconds. And then the fight was over. Aspinall tore his MCL. So that shit happens sometimes. What are you going to do? We also want to celebrate the wins for Impa Kasanganay. He got a great win at ex-MMA 5 against Jared Gooden with a knockout. Yeah, first, I don't want to say it sucked, but it definitely did not live up to the last London card. It was a good card, but the last London card, I think they gave out 9 bonuses. This one they gave out 4. You could definitely see the difference in the fights. Oh, that's so good. So we're waiting for Mike Perry. I've sent out word. I sent Paul Revere out to, with the one by land, 2 by sea. Let's get Mike Perry on the show. We're waiting for him right now. I know he has training later on this evening. That's why we're bringing him in early. And let me just text him again. So I just sent off another message to Mike Perry. Hopefully he'll be on in just a minute. We'll get him in here. And then after Mike Perry joins us today, we'll have Mick Terrill. We will also have UFC heavyweight Josh Parisian coming off a big bonus win on June 25th. Got himself an extra $50K in the pocket. That's always nice. Josh is one of the funnest guys in the UFC. And then we have Connor Tierney, the Brown Bomber. He's going to join us live from London. Both Mick Terrill and Connor Tierney are joining us live from the UK this evening. So for them, it's 11 o'clock when Terrill comes on in his time zone. And for Connor, it's going to be midnight in his time zone. But these guys decided to jump in with us, which I am excited about. Again, we're still waiting for Mike Perry to make his appearance here. Hopefully he'll be on in just a couple of minutes. Sometimes these fighters get caught up in stuff. Sometimes they forget stuff. I was in contact with Mike all weekend. He said he'll be here, so he's never shined me on before, so I'm hoping he doesn't shine me on tonight. Let's smoke some weed. Oh, that's tasty right there, man. Oh, yeah. So yummy. So we had, like I said, we had ex-MMA, we had bare knuckle, we have a new bare knuckle interim champion, Reggie Barnett Jr. defeated Jared Kid Gotti Grant. It was a crappy way to end the fight. Reggie Barnett was dominating the whole fight. Chevello came out and said that he also knew that Reggie dominated the whole fight, so it's nothing disrespectful to Jared Grant. But I had the card 40. I had a 40-36 for Reggie, and the judges had 40-36 for Reggie as well. The fight ended before the 5th start, or right at the beginning of the 5th round. They had to go to the judges' scorecards because Reggie went through a nice right or a nice left. Was it a right or a left? I don't remember. It was one of those, and his thumb extended out. So I think it was a left, and he caught Jared in the eye unintentionally. Jared left the ring before the decision was even announced. The Florida Commission did an excellent job on looking at the replay. And then after 3 rounds of action, they go to the judges' scorecards if there's a foul, anything after 3 rounds. So this was obviously a 5-round fight. So after the 3rd round ended, we were eligible for scorecards in the event that there was a penalty or a foul that ended the fight, which there was. It was an unintentional foul. But Reggie Barnett looked phenomenal on Saturday night at BKFC Tampa 2. So now we're just waiting for Mike Perry, like I said, guys. So, I have Mick Terrill standing by somewhere. I know he is. And we'll jump him in here just a few minutes if Mike doesn't show up. So, that's it. Let's do another bong hit. That's what I think. Also today, a lot of people have been talking about the fight between Hamzat Chimaev taking on Nick Diaz, and Nick Diaz's final fight inside the octagon. Dan Hardy today decided that he was going to give his opinion, and he did. And his opinion is he thinks it's an assassination attempt. He said that somebody should look into pressing charges before this fight even happens. Crazy that a lot of people feel this way. I mean, Nick Diaz is not a slouch by any stretch of the imagination. Hasn't won a fight in a while, but he's still dangerous. I mean, he showed that. If he gets a punch and he lands it right, he can end a fight just like that. He almost did to Leon Edwards when they fought recently in Nick's last fight. I shouldn't say recently, that was a little while ago, but that was the last fight we saw from Nick Diaz. And he, like I said, he can end a fight, with one punch, or, start the end of a fight with one punch. But we just don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. I'm taking Chimaev to win by decimation. I personally think that this is a bad booking for Nate Diaz. I said Nick Diaz a minute ago. I meant to say Nate Diaz. This is a bad booking for Nate Diaz. He's just not the fighter he once was. He's still dangerous. I'm not taking anything away from the guy. He's always willing to scrap. He's going to get cut up. He's going to get bloody. I know he's got some really good jiu-jitsu. He's a black belt, but wrestling will beat the jiu-jitsu every time. Some guys don't agree with that statement, but in my years of watching fights and covering fights and working in the fight game, wrestling is the most important attribute you can have in an MMA fight, in my opinion. It really does set the table for a lot of different things to happen. And if you're the wrestler, you're good. If you're fighting a wrestler fighting anybody else, I think the wrestler has the advantage, because if he can take the fight to the ground and get it to where he wants, like Curtis Blades. Curtis Blades can knock you out with one punch. He's shown he has the big power, but Curtis Blades can also devastate you on the ground. If you're throwing a kick at Curtis, you better be ready to get taken down, because Curtis is going to grab your leg and take you down. Then he's going to get on top of you and slice you up with punches and elbows. Just ask Alistair Overeem about that, and if you remember that fight, well, it was awesome. Curtis Blades came out and dominated. I felt bad for Curtis this weekend because he only had 15 seconds of a fight. It looked like the fight was going to be a banger. It really did. They both came out. There was no feeling out process going on. These guys came to work. I don't know if it was going to get out of the first round because both of them were going to try to decapitate the other one. So, but either way, Curtis Blades gets the win, keeps his ranking. And he wants to move on. He wants to fight somebody ahead of him. He's looking at the winner of Tai Tuivasa and Cyril Gane, that's going to take place at UFC Paris. So that's where Curtis is looking. They're waiting to see, what's going to happen with the title. I was listening to an interview today with Curtis and Ariel Helwani, and, Helwani brought up an interesting fact that, we're having an interim 125 fight, an interim 125 title fight. And on, after, the champ got injured, and they're looking at that fight, the last fight for the champ took place the same night that Francis won his last fight. So we have an interim title fight coming up in the flyweight division, but we don't have an interim title fight coming up in the heavyweight division, although they will be, looks like it's going to be John Jones versus Stipe Miocic, and it looks like it will be an interim title fight. I'm expecting that fight to be announced and booked for November in Madison Square Garden. It's a big fight, and, the UFC loves to have a big main event like that for their fight nights at Madison Square Garden. So look for that to be a numbered event, of course, and then we'll go from there. So I'm going to message Mick Terrill real quick and see if he's ready to come on. We'll see if we can jump him in, and then maybe Mike will join us a little later, and we'll slide him in. Don't know what's going on with Mike Perry, but sometimes, like I said, this happens. I'll keep my eye on my phone to see if he messages me and lets me know what's going on. If not, we'll reschedule him. It's not a big deal. So I just messaged Mick and I told him if he's ready, click the link and come on in and we'll get him in here for you guys. It's kind of weird. Yeah, I know, Forrest. I'm not worried about it. Like I said, sometimes these happen. I've had other shows where a guest, for some reason something happened, they couldn't make it. And if that's the case, that's the case. I don't get upset about it. These fighters have lives that they live. Mike's a dad. He's got a lady to take care of. He's got a baby to take care of. He's got other things going on outside of the fight game. So, he's a busy dude. So, sometimes the schedule doesn't permit him to, or any fighter to follow through sometimes on, getting on a show for an interview. It just happens. You can get mad about it, or you can just accept that as part of the game, and then I accept that as part of the game. So, if Mike doesn't come on now, we'll get him on before he fights in London. I guarantee you that. It's been a while since we had him on. Let's move this over here. Let's move this over. That's better. Well, let's do another bong hit. All right, I am ripe and ready to go, so hopefully we'll have Mick Terrill jumping in here a little bit earlier than expected. I know I sent these guys all the right link, so hopefully they would message me if I did. Oh, I love you too, Debbie. Let me see something here just to make sure. All right, so I just checked the link. The link definitely does work. I just checked it on my phone to make sure I sent them the right link. Sometimes, things like that, technical stuff happen and screws you up. So what do you guys want to talk about while we are waiting? I see you got a few viewers on. I apologize for the absence of Mike Perry right now. Wait to hear back from him to see what the holdup is, see if he's going to make it today. I just messaged my next guest, Mick Terrill. Hopefully he'll jump in a little early so we can get some conversations going for you guys. But while we're waiting, is there anything you guys want to discuss in the fight game or in the fight game? Bare knuckle, MMA, we could discuss UFC, we could discuss ex-MMA. Luis Pena fought over the weekend. He also just celebrated a birthday. He didn't get the win. Julian Lane also fought at ex-MMA. He didn't get the win. He just celebrated a birthday. Luis didn't have his birthday. I got that confused. My wife is doing awesome. She's working right now. Yes, it is going to be Mick's first time on the show. That is correct. So we're going to drop the singing bomb on him. He doesn't know it yet, but we will drop it in on him. The life of doing interviews with fighters, sometimes it just doesn't go my way. It doesn't go everybody's way every single time. So that's the way it is. That's the way the cookie crumbles. That's what they say, right? So let's pull up some. Let me see what we got here that we can discuss. Let me pull this up over here. Anything interesting on the MMA forefront today? William Souza was supposed to fight Dana White's Contender Series tomorrow night. He was supposed to take on, let me pull this up here, Farid Basharat. in a bantamweight fight, but Souza came in 10 pounds over at 146. So 11 pounds over championship weight and 10 pounds over the allowable 1 pound allowance, which would have allowed him to come in at 136. So, things like that happen, but that's okay. Well, it's not really okay, man. Here you are, the opportunity of a lifetime, the biggest stage you've ever been on, Dana White's Contender Series, fighting in front of the boss man, and your first experience with the UFC, you come in 10 pounds overweight. I don't think that guy will be getting an opportunity anytime soon to fight in the octagon. There'd have to be a lot of things to fall apart to even call that guy back, but you just never know. But we do have a great fight night, and that starts tomorrow night. Ozzy Diaz and Joe Pyfer at middleweight. Farrar, that fight is canceled. Anton Tukalj versus Ocasio dos Santos. That's going to be a light heavyweight bout. Dennis Bazukja taking on Khalil Romero, 146, and Alessandro Costa versus Andres Luna Martinetti, flyweight, 125. So that's tomorrow night on the Contender Series. You can watch it on ESPN Plus. Now, let me ask you guys a question. The Ultimate Fighter, is wrapping up. We're going to have Pena and Nunes this weekend at UFC in Dallas. And with the Contender Series taking off the way it has and farming, fighters to the UFC, has the Ultimate Fighter run its course? This season, if I'm correct, all the episodes aired at midnight Eastern time. Not really a prime viewing block, but that's when they were airing. And then replayed, I believe they were replaying episodes on ESPN2 or ESPN on Sundays. But I haven't really heard a lot of people talking about this season as I have in past seasons. And the Ultimate Fighter was to find fighters to come to the octagon, right? Now we have the Contender Series, and it's, you're still paying the fighters, but you're not housing fighters. They're coming in for the weekend or for the midweek. Hotel rates are cheaper during the beginning of the week anyway, but they're coming in the beginning of the week. There's no lavish production. It's at the Apex, and that's it. They bring them in, they do the fights, they send them home. But they're booking fighters out of there on the Contender Series. Lots of fighters coming out of the Contender Series and making their way to the octagon and becoming, becoming those that fill the roster as they continue to grow the UFC. There's new fighters coming in all the time. It's a more effective, in my opinion, more productive way for the UFC to continue to build their roster. The Ultimate Fighter was a fun show, and it was great in years past. It's kind of dwindled off, and the interest in that show has kind of drizzled away, I guess would be the best way to describe it. So, what's your guys' thoughts? Has it run its course? Should there be more Ultimate Fighter seasons? Maybe special editions? I don't know, because again, I think the best thing that comes out of the Ultimate Fighter right now is the coaches fighting each other. If they got two high-profile names like this one, the champ versus challenger, which is a former champ. This is going to be a good one. So, if you guys got comments on the Ultimate Fighter, please let me know. I would love to hear it if you guys have some comments, good or bad. Yeah, Contender Series looks great for tomorrow night. Patty didn't really teabag him. He would have had been closer. He more did a little twerking. He said he was going to teabag him. Jordan Leavitt said he was going to twerk on him. And, so Patty, shook his ass in front of his face. It wasn't a full-on teabagging in the truest sense of what teabagging really is. I can't believe we're talking about teabagging on Cage Side with Christopher James, but what the hell? There's not much else to talk about right now. So, all right, let me see. Haven't heard back from either of my first two guests. Could it be? What the heck? Let's see. So we're going to message Mick again, see if we can get him to jump in a few minutes ahead of his scheduled appearance at 6 p.m. He told me he'd be tuned in. Oh, there he comes. So, boys and girls, we're going to get our first guest on. He's supposed to be our second guest, but our first guest is MIA. But that's all right, man. I met this guy a while back when he fought Arnold Adams. He's a cool dude. I follow his social media. He puts some stuff up that just cracks me the fuck up, man. He makes me laugh every single time I read some of his posts. He's got some good, fun stuff. He's one tough son of a bitch, and we're going to bring him in right now, live from the UK. Please welcome Mick Terrill for the first time on Cage Side with Christopher James. Mick, welcome to the show.
All right, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, sir. How are you today?
I'm struggling on.
You don't look happy today. Is everything okay?
Yeah, it's great. I've just come back from sparring, so I've probably got a bashed in face.
Sparring. So let me ask you a question. Because you brought up sparring, and I always like to ask the bare knuckle guys, are you sparring with your boxing gloves on right now, so as not to damage your hands, or are you doing like I know a couple of bare knuckle guys say they spar with MMA gloves just to get a little better feel. So what's your approach on this technique to work on your hands?
I wear 18-ounce gloves to spar, and I wear 16-ounce gloves to do pad work just for the speed. Obviously, when you take them off, you'll be a little bit quicker. But I can't understand why you want to risk breaking your hands before you fight. I'd rather be well protected. I break my hands just about every single fight I have, and I just have a cry about it after. But I don't. I'm going into the fight worrying about it.
So you don't do any unwrapped hand work at all leading up to a fight?
Nope, I'd rather go in knowing I'm injury-free than panicking that I've got a broken hand.
It kind of sucks that you break your hands almost every time you fight, you say, because these are your tools. These are your weapons, and it sucks that they get damaged. Like Reggie Barnett just fought him. Did you watch the event this weekend?
No, it's a bit late for me. I try to watch it back.
Well, Reggie Barnett won the interim 135-pound championship, beat Jared Grant for it. And he put up some pictures today, and he goes, when you do this right, your hands don't break. Reggie, Elvin Brito have come up with a way to throw punches, and they're two of the guys I know, but they're doing something in their training, and maybe they're keeping it a secret. But they seem to be two guys that come out of these fights with no hand damage. And I don't understand how that's possible when everybody else is cracking a knuckle, either here or here. I mean, they're hurting their hands. I mean, punching somebody in the head fucking hurts.
On the first two, I don't know if you can see my hand. Mine's a bit, I've got a bit of a lump on the back of my hand. I don't know if you can see it on there. The trick is to punch with the first two knuckles and you'll not break your hand. But every now and then you slip and catch the last two knuckles. They're the ones that break.
Well, that sucks, man.
Well, it's the game.
So how excited are you for BKFC London, brother?
I can't wait. I've trained really hard since about January. Mostly my manager keeps telling us that there's a fight in January, there's a fight in February, there's a fight in March. So I've just been non-stop waiting for the opportunity to come through. And Wembley's massive, so it's going to be an excellent show.
Yeah, and you're taking on a big, proud American in Sam Shoemaker. It's like the Revolutionary War Part 2. It's America versus England. It's two big, massive heavyweights with big punching power. I, for one, am excited. The heavyweight division in BKFC is really getting interested. I know you came over and you fought Arnold Adams a while back. You got into town late. There was a bunch of problems, I know, and no excuses. You don't make excuses. I had heard reports that you were under the weather, that you had, possibly contracted COVID. But but you fought the champ before he was the champ again, and I know you want that fight back. So Sam Shoemaker is the first person you're going to have to face to work your way back to a title. So tell us what you know about Sam and what you have to do to come out with a win in that fight.
You know what it is? So I've told the Sam a couple of times on the social media. He seems like a nice bloke. I've got nothing personal against him. He's got a big right hand. So the plan is to circle away from his right hand and try and catch him with some nice shots. I think he's coming off a loss himself, isn't he? So he's going to be.
He might be.
Of Josh Burns. So I think he's going to be training just as hard as me. I just got to hopefully my shots will land before his.
Yeah, and that fight you had with Arnold was, I guess it was almost a year ago now. It seems like, right? Was it a year ago? That was a little over a year ago. That was down here in Tampa. Sam has a big right hand. I'm looking at your record right now. It's including, it's all your fights. It's got you listed as 4 wins, 1 loss, 4 wins by KO. Obviously, in bare knuckle, the goal is to get in and get out as fast as possible. You don't want to have I hear some of these guys talk about, I want to have a 5-round fight in bare knuckle. I don't want to have a 5-round fight in bare knuckle. I want to go in there and take my opponent out as fast as I can for a couple of reasons. 1, the faster I do it, the less damage I'm going to sustain on my body. And 2, I don't get paid by the hour. I get paid by the fight. So I want the fight to be like that. What about you? Do you want the big fight? Do you want the fight to go out and and be entertaining for 3 or 4 rounds, or do you want to go in there and get the work done as quick as possible?
It depends, doesn't it? Because if you're really damaging your opponent and he's not hitting your look back, sometimes it's a little bit sadistic, but it's more fun. The damage more. I think I had it in my last fight in England. My corner was telling us to knock my opponent out, and I was quite enjoying myself. So I thought, no, I'll not knock him out. I'll just keep stringing him along.
It does sound a little sadistic. You don't look like the sadistic kind of fella. You look like, a nice guy, like Sam. Sam's a nice, humble bloke. He likes to fight, likes to throw that big right hand. You like to fight. You're a tough son of a bitch. You know what I mean? You're a big, tough son of a guy, but you're also a funny guy. I see some of your posts and you talk about different things. So let's take it back a little bit. What made you become a professional fighter in the first place?
It was by accident, really. I play football. You would call it soccer. And one day I just decided to go. I started off Thai boxing, Muay Thai, and I just popped along and I got addicted. And then once you start fighting, people pay you, and you get paid to hit people, and you don't go to jail. So it's better than fighting in the pubs and the clubs.
Yeah, I guess it is. You get paid to beat people up. That's the best reason to do it. You don't want to go to jail. So, were you that guy? Did you get into a lot of pub fights over your younger years?
One or two little scrapes. I couldn't fight you out where people were back at the time. I thought I could, and then you get yourself to a proper gym, and then you get beat up off some little nerd with ginger hair and glasses. And I'm not what I thought I was, so you've got to train a bit harder.
So what's the difference, the biggest difference you've learned or you've noticed, pub fighting versus professional fighting, other than the money?
The pub fighting, where you're just fighting little numpties, aren't you? Little pissheads, really. We call them over here, drunks. The problem is when you hit them, you might kill them. I've had a couple that I've hit and they didn't wake up for a few minutes, so yeah. I try to stay away from the pub fights. Every now and then you get one. It is. It's mad. I'm not little. I'm about 6'3", maybe 18 stone, and you get the little ones trying to pick on you, and sometimes you got to give them a little slap.
Yeah, I don't understand what these little guys like. I'm a little guy. I'm not walking up to a guy that's 6'3", 6'4", and going, "Hey, you want to go?" I'm not doing it, man. It's just stupid. even if I think that the guy is just big, because there are some big guys out there that are pussies. They can't fight. They can't. They're just big. And that kept them out of fights because they're big. But I've seen a couple of big guys. I've worked in the bar business my whole life, so I've seen some big guys get chin checked by a little guy and get knocked the fuck out. So maybe there's some truth in it. The reason why, but typically the little guy is not going to beat up the big guy. It just doesn't work that way. What did your family think about you fighting?
My wife doesn't really enjoy it. My mom doesn't enjoy it, but I think my dad does. My kids seem to, I don't know if they're going to follow in their footsteps, but they like to train. I think my oldest lad is 18 now. I think he wants to look into start fighting, but my wife's
How old is he?
18.
18?
Yeah, the oldest one.
Wow. You don't look like you have an 18-year-old kid. You look pretty young.
Well, I had them young. Get them out the way with young, you get your life back young. Get bored in. Charge them rent to live here.
That's hysterical, man. Get him knocked out early. So, Bare Knuckle came over to London and did a press conference with you, MVP, Connor Tierney, and Mike Perry. That press conference was a lot of fun. Mike Perry sang a little song, MVP is going down. When he started singing that, I started laughing my ass off. I thought it was fucking hysterical. What was your take on? I know this is the second time you've met Feldman and everything else, but what was your take on the whole setup of the press event? Because I felt it was one of their better press events that they've put on since they've started doing stuff, and it was really cool to see all four of you guys get your time on the mic, get your time on the podium. It would have been cool if they had brought over Sam Shoemaker and Joe Elmore, so you could talk to your opponent and Connor could talk to his, but they didn't. But what was your take on the press conference? Did you have a good time? Was it enjoyable being in front of that kind of a crowd in London? Watching Mike Perry and MVP with their antics and their shit talking. Did you enjoy the whole process?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it was a long drive there. It's 6 hours away from me, a drive. Tony, was he Danny Christie? 7 hours for him, maybe 7.5, 8 hours, because he come from college, and then we're headed down. But when we got there, there's loads of faces I haven't seen for a few years, like James Quinn McDonough. I haven't seen him for 5 years now, so it was good catching up with him. But it was, it is, I went on the podium. It was the craziest thing I've ever seen. On the podium, we all had like I think it was an A4 sheet, like a notepad. And we all had a pen. And I was thinking, do I need to take notes here? Take notes. So then Harry was sat to me, and I noticed he was writing stuff down. I thought, oh shit, he's writing something. I best have a little look, make sure what he's doing. And when I looked to my left at Tony the Rhino Giles, he was also writing. I'm thinking, I almost had to take notes here. So when I've looked over, Mike Perry was just writing his autograph about 25 times. And when I looked at Tony the Rhino Giles, just drew a cock and balls. I thought, no, I don't think I need to take any notes here.
Did you write anything on the paper as well?
No, I just started laughing. I pointed at Tony's cock and balls he drew, and he changed it to a pair of tits.
Were they nice tits?
I had a little feel. They weren't bad.
So, you're obviously you're from the UK. What do you think of Bare Knuckle making this trip over there and fighting at Wembley Arena? I mean, this is a 12,500 seat arena. It's a big venue and it's historic. And you're going to be fighting there in the first sanctioned Bare Knuckle fighting event to be held in London in a long time. What does that mean to you being a UK guy?
It's great, and it's do you know what it is? If you watch BKFC, they've just grown and grown and grown, and when they've come over, they've just picked the biggest venue, haven't they? It's be the biggest show that's come on bare knuckle in the country, and it's their first show over here. So it just shows how much dedication Dave's putting into it. I think he puts his heart and soul into the shows, so he's doing great. You know, he just got to hopefully he keeps it going.
Do you feel the importance of history, being a citizen of the UK, fighting in that arena?
No, it's a brand new arena. It's only a few year old arena. I'm just here because I get to hit people. I'm not too bothered about the history. It's people.
I love it, man. This card, MVP, is being let out of his Bellator contract to come over and do one fight there at Bare Knuckle. He's taking on Mike Perry. They're the main event. You got Paige Van Zandt fighting on this card. Some big talent to draw eyes. What's the buzz? Have you heard anybody? I mean, I know you're 6 hours away from London, you said. So I don't know if you are able to keep up with the actual buzz, but what is the buzz that you're feeling out there? Do you think this event will sell out?
I think it will. I think on the opening weekend, they sold 5,000 tickets or something straight away before the fight has even got any tickets. We were hopping on for tickets. I've been after tickets for weeks and weeks. But I've shifted nearly all my tickets. I think I've only got a couple left. So I'm guessing all the fighters would have done the same. I mean, there's some big names on it. I kind of watched the MVP Perry fight. I mean, did you see the size difference between them?
Yeah. I've seen Mike. I've known Mike a long time. He came up on the regional scene here in Florida. So I've been a ring announcer for years, and I've announced his fights, watching him come up before he ever made it to the UFC. He's a short. I think he's 6 foot, but that still seems small at 170. You know, and where he's been fighting it, so he's always had a lot of fights where he was the shorter guy. But MVP definitely is a bigger, taller guy. This fight has me intrigued because I think MVP is a little more technical. Mike, in spite of his ability to brawl, Mike does have technical abilities that I think some people sleep on. So I'm looking forward to this fight being a complete banger. What's your take on this fight? You're over there with MVP, in that area. You've probably been watching his career for a long time, and you've seen Mike Perry. So give me your thoughts on this fight.
I know MVP's had boxing fights before, but I think he's the same as me. He's a kickboxer, and I tell you what kickboxers struggle to do with, lead with a jab, because usually your jab is just to set up a kick, and he can't kick. So right. I don't. Mike Perry managed to get inside. It takes all the way MVP's power, because he will have leverage on his 1-2s. He's that long. Fighting a smaller person, he'll get a lot of leverage on the 1-2. But MVP, if he can get inside and rough him up, it'll be interesting to watch. Both very good fighters. Whose games plan works on the day.
Are you taking the British guy or the American guy?
It's a lot of range. That. I bet he's got about a foot on him. I think I'll have to go MVP on that one.
Taking the hometown guy. I like it. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take your countryman. I mean, you have to, right?
You've got to look at it logically, haven't you? It's if someone's better than someone else, you've got to go with the. I mean, I'm not saying MVP's better, but I'm saying he's got that range. He's got knockout power himself. But you know what it is? He's tough as well, isn't he?
Yeah. The thing with Mike Perry is you can hit him. He's willing to go in there and die. He's that kind of fighter. You can hit him, you can cut him, you can make him bleed, you can break his nose, but Mike Perry doesn't stop fighting. So I think, and I think for Mike to win this fight, I think he has to do it early. I don't think he wants to go the distance with MVP. I mean, I don't know. He was supposed to be on with us here, but he hasn't messaged me back yet, so we're going to try to get him on at the end of the show. But I think I think he has to win early. I think he has to go out there and put the fight together early, and you know, try to take MVP out as quick as possible, because I think MVP will be able to piece him up a little bit more in the later rounds if it goes there. Mike came out, fought Julian Lane. Mike, won the beginning of the fight. Julian started coming on later in the fight. And I think MVP is a better fighter than Julian Lane. And I love Julian Lane, but I think, MVP is a more technical fighter, although this is his, as far as I understand, this is his first foray into bare knuckle. So he might get cracked once with the bare knuckle and want no more of it. We've seen that happen too. That's the other interesting part of this fight, right?
I think MVP's weakness is his showboating. Not really into the showboating myself, just in case I got beat. But if you're showboating, it shows on one of his MMA fights. He busy showboating, got knocked out. You can't afford to do that in bare knuckle. It's a different punch. I don't know if you've ever been punched bare knuckle to boxing gloves. It's sharp, it stings, it's a different sort of the punch that you're getting, You don't want to take any unnecessary risks.
So, back to your fighting stuff, what kind of diet do you follow to keep yourself in shape? I know you're a big man, and typically heavyweights don't really worry about their diet, but some do. So I have to ask the question, do you have a special diet? Do you try to keep it so you're lean, or you just eat whatever you want?
I don't want to pet tits, you know what I mean? When I'm fighting, I'm going to try and lean down a little bit. You don't want to be on the telly with some boobs there. So I try to have red meat 3 times a week, white meat 4 times a week, leafy green vegetables, and just whatever else. On a Saturday, I have a takeaway. I might have a Domino's pizza or an Indian or a Chinese on a Saturday. Just normal food, just more of it. I eat for fun, so just.
That's funny. You eat for fun. I love it, dude. I love it. What's your favorite thing to eat? Like after a fight week is, after your fight week is over, like, do you have a special meal you like to just go crazy on after a fight?
Ice cream.
A lot of it.
I love ice cream. Ben and Jerry. In fact, Haagen-Dazs strawberry cheesecake. That's me.
That's all you. Well, you should tell them to have some ready, so this way after your fight you can go right and eat some ice cream. What do you have to do to win this fight with Sam Shoemaker?
I have to punch him more than he punches me and not get knocked out, basically. But I think I'm going to try and make a statement on this one. I've trained me balls off for this one. So I don't know. I've watched. I think maybe I'm fast on my feet. Although he's got a nice big right hand, and I think he relies on that a little bit. I just hope he doesn't hit us with
it. That's a good game plan. I mean, in MMA and boxing, I think there's more game planning that has to be done, especially in MMA in a fight. But in bare knuckle, it's really just who's the guy that's going to land. I mean, there's got to be a little bit of game planning. I mean, obviously you got some moves you're going to try to do, whether you're a clinch fighter or not. But at the end of the day, I think it's what you just said. I got to hit him more than he hits me, not get knocked out.
That's the science, isn't it? That's the science of the game.
So how long do you think it's going to take for you? Let's say you win this fight. How long do you think it'll take for you to become a title contender? How many more fights do you think it would take for you to get to that title, especially since right now the champ is Arnold Adams and you have a loss against him?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because he's obviously already beat Dylan Kleckler, so is he going to get? I'm not sure. He's beat him as champion. Tate's just been beat. I think Belcher might fight him next.
Alan Belcher is going to be next for him. It looks like that's going to take place. I'm going to say in November, here in the States, probably in Louisiana, in New Orleans. That's what I'm feeling. So
yeah.
If Arnold Adams goes on to win, who else is there for him at this point?
I don't think there's anybody left. I think it is like honestly, I thought Arnold not very well, you know, and I still thought I dropped him in the second round. And I honestly, I could only throw 2 or 3 shots, like per combination. And the 2 weeks before, I was having like 10 shot combinations. And I still think I hurt him. And I wasn't very well. So it'll be interesting to get the thing. But what I will say about Arnold is, when he did punches, it felt like I'd been hit with a bat. I was Arnold to punch that hard, and like first shot, he split my eye. And I don't know if you've ever been hit in the head with a bat. It's your head sort of vibrates off, and that's what it felt like when he hit us every time.
He's a strong dude. A lot of people sleep on how strong he is. He hits hard,
Yeah,
and
very
but he's technical. You know, he likes to work. You know, he has good footwork. He likes to work. He doesn't come out looking for the knockout. When he fought Dylan, he got dropped. You know, and then he got up and he went to work like real quick, like he wasn't fucking around anymore. Like I had him on the show a little while ago, and I said to him, I said, you had this look on your face like, no, he didn't just knock me down. What the fuck? You know, and he said that's what he felt like, you know.
I love fight. He's great to watch. When you watch him fight, it's slick. You know, he's just so slick. I love watching him fight.
Yeah, I like watching him fight too. He's definitely entertaining. So there's 2 big heavyweights that the BKFC assigned, Ben Rothwell and Greg Hardy. Now, I'm thinking Ben Rothwell is going to fight, I think they said in October, and I think it's going to be against Bobo O'Bannon. I just think that's the fight. That's the one that everybody's talked about. They went back and forth along on social media in a friendly way saying, let's go, let's book this fight. So that leaves Greg Hardy out there. So would you be the guy that would like to, you know, let's say you get this win against Sam. Is that a guy you want to like welcome to the organization, be the first one to fight him and get him on your resume?
I'll fight anybody, anytime, anywhere. No problem. I'll just fight anyone. You don't even have
would you call him out?
I don't have to call anyone out. I think really I'm sort of. Do you know what gets me? I was looking like, what do you see? He's fighting Bobo. I mean, nothing against Bobo. It's like, I think people, you know, when I joined the company, I wanted to fight Belton, Arnold Adams, because I thought them were the top 2. I seem like, I don't know where Bobo is ranked at the moment, but he's not top 2. If you join the company, especially Ben Rothwell, I think he's from the UFC. He's a high pedigree fighter. I'm not sure about the other one. Was the American footballer the other
lad? Well, Ben Rothwell's from the UFC, and Greg Hardy is from the UFC as well.
Why aren't them saying, yeah, I've got this pedigree behind me, I want to fight for the title straight away, or like I want to be in the top 5? But they seem to be. I didn't ask for anybody outside the top 5 when I first. I wanted the top all the time. You
want the tough fight?
I want the best fight. What's the point in having an easy fight or a fight that's, you know, not top 5? I want to be in the best fight.
That makes total sense to me. I like the attitude. You know, give me the best fighter available. That's the way I would want to do it myself as well. So again, if you go on to win this fight, you know, which, you know, we wish you the best of luck, of course. You know, and you said you don't have to call out anybody, but are you willing to? Because I think in this day and age of the fight game, especially in bare knuckle, they like you guys to have a big social media following. They want you to bring eyes to the table. They want you to bring fans to the arena. They want you to, you know, bring eyes to the BKTV app to watch the fights. So I think in this day and age, it's important to make some noise on social media. Now, calling out Greg Hardy, you know, and really, you know, calling him out, you know, without being an asshole, but being aggressive in the call out, I think helps you. Do you agree with that? Or
I was to call anybody out, it'll be Arnold. I want the rematch for Arnold. Greg Hardy, if he wants to fight, I'll fight him. Like I say, Dave Feldman hasn't even got to ask me. He's just going to say, Mick, I want you here that day, and I'll be there. I don't need asked. If you, in my opinion on this is, if you want to fight and you want to win a title, you have to be willing to fight anybody at any time. It's like you can't pick and choose your fights. If you want to be the champ, you've got to be able to fight anybody. And there's no ifs or buts about it, you need to be ready to go because that's the ladder. You've got to get up there. I don't care who it is. I'll have anyone at any time.
Right. I know that. I understand that. But the bigger the name, the bigger the eyes on you. So,
Yep.
whereas,
Arnold Adams.
well, yeah, Greg Hardy, Ben Rothwell, Arnold Adams, of course, is the champ. But these other guys have a bigger following,
Yep.
than Arnold does because they've been in the UFC. So they've got, they've had the opportunity to be on the biggest platform on the planet as far as MMA goes. And, some of them are good followers, some of them are haters, but the point is they got followers. So what do you have to do to increase your brand, to make your brand the one that everybody wants to be involved in?
That's right. You're right what you're saying. I'm going to have to call somebody out. What was the lad called?
Greg Hardy?
Greg Hardy.
Greg Hardy, yeah.
I'll call him out just for you.
I love it, man. It's you could be the best fighter, and all that's good, but your social media is such an important part of it today. I almost feel bad for you guys, like, because you don't come across to me as a guy that gives a shit about social media. You have one because because everybody has one. It's not like you have one and you're trying to, be this crazy guy on social media. Your posts are fun. You're some about your family, and it makes me laugh. Like I said, it's good, wholesome stuff. But then you got a guy like Mike Perry, and Mike Perry, his social media, he's got a big following. He grew a big following while being in the UFC. It's been controversial at times. He's done some crazy stuff over the years, but he's getting views and people want to watch him fight. And, it's part of the job today. So what does Mick Terrill have to do now to get those views from people?
I've got to knock people out. And I might dig them a grave when they're in there.
Oh, I love it, dude. Well, listen, I appreciate you taking the time. I know it's later in the evening over there, over in the UK. So thank you for taking the time. Now, there's two things we got to do before I send you on your way. First, if you want to shout out anybody, sponsors, coaches, family, teammates, go ahead and take the opportunity to do that now.
Well, I've had lots of good sparring recently with Stephen Robinson and Will Howe. I've just been there to deal with them. I've got great sponsors as well: Terry Christie, Block Clavin, Pete Burke and Sons, RW Driveways, the Mason Arms. I'm trying to think of them all. There's the Surf Shop. There's loads. I can't even think of them off the top of my head. But if I've missed them, I'm sorry.
That's a good problem to have, though. That's a good problem to have. Now, the last thing we got to do, this is your first time on my show. And again, thank you for being here. But at the end of an interview for first-time guest, and every first-time guest on my show has done this, nobody has said no. And this is episode 328. So I've had, probably, 800 guests on my show, maybe 750, maybe 800, somewhere around there. And nobody said no the first time they're on the show. And I always do something to make you guys feel a little awkward, a little uncomfortable. So, but you're fighters, so you take all kinds of challenges. You said anytime, any place, anywhere. So my challenge is a little different. It's not a fight because I'm here and you're there and you would kick my ass anyway. So I'm not going to challenge you to a fight. But I ask every first-time guest on the show to do something a little crazy, a little fun, and I ask them to sing for us. I don't care what you sing. It doesn't have to be a whole song, but like 15 seconds of a song. I don't care what it is. It could be your favorite, favorite TV jingle. It could be a kid's song. I don't care, but you got to give me 15 seconds of something.
Trying to think of the song,
What's your walkout song? Has it got words?
Elvis, it's in the kettle. I'm nervous.
Like you're supposed to be. That's the whole point of it.
Oh, I can't sing that one because I'll knock it. I can't knock an Elvis song.
It's okay. You can sing whatever song you want. Elvis, doesn't matter. And you only got to do like 10 or 15 seconds and then I'll be happy.
I'm trying to think of the song. I heard the Up and Down song.
Say what?
The up and down song.
No, I don't know it.
Up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And that's all it goes, just up and down.
That works for me, man. I appreciate it. Well, listen, you up and down and up and down. I like it. It was perfect. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck in your upcoming fight against Sam Shoemaker, August 20th, BKFC 27, live from Wembley Arena in London, England. It's going to be Mick Terrill taking on Sam Shoemaker in a heavyweight feature bout. It's going to be awesome. You can watch it live on the BKTV app. It's $3.99 a month. I don't know what that is in pounds. I don't know if it's available over there. Can you get the app over there?
Also, it'll be about £3, $3.99.
Okay, so it's about £3 if you're watching over there in the UK. It's worth it. Great fights, and the app has been killing it. So make sure you tune in, support this guy right here, and all our BKFC fighters. Mick, thank you for taking the time, and we'll see you again real soon, brother.
Thanks a lot. Thanks for having us. What you doing?
Keep it. Boys and girls, that was the man himself, Mick Terrill. What a fun guy, dude. He says, the job is to get hit or to hit and not get hit. I see my next guest. He's got his headphones on. He's sitting there in the studio right now, and he is ready to jump in. He's one of my favorite UFC heavyweights. He's always a lot of fun. I love chatting with this guy. We're going to bring him in right now. Josh Parisian joining us on the show.
Hey.
What's up, JP? Woo.
Hey. Man, I am really close to this camera.
Yeah, you got to be. There you go.
There we go. Slide back a little bit.
Yeah, I saw something the other day on your page. You were putting in a studio of some sort.
No, I'm doing Twitch. I'm playing video games online for people to watch. But like as you can kind of see, it's a mess in here. It's not ready for that. But I just wanted to do it just because I'm the last boss of that dungeon, and I was really proud to be there, and we killed it. I was super pumped about it.
Do you find it funny that people will tune in and watch you play video games?
Yeah, I used to think that it was when it first happened, kind of like anything in the world when it's new, you're like, that's weird. And then you start to do it. So I kind of get it now because like you play the video games, you want to see somebody else, see how they do it, and you're learning. And it's kind of like, so you get better too. So, but it's cool. It's cool.
It's
I like
crazy. I can't believe I can't get into it. I've tried to watch some Twitch, channels, people like Mighty Mouse and my boy Mike Davis. And I've tuned in and I'm just like, I'm bored in 5 minutes because I'm not the one playing the game. So I'm like, this is lame.
Yeah. If you got multiple monitors, it's nice because you put it up on one and you can watch while you're doing your own thing too. Not like you're just sitting here watching the whole time.
Yeah, I'm old. I can't focus my attention on playing a game, trying to watch somebody else play a game. I would be so pissed off. I can't do it, man. Uh-oh, I hear little mama.
Yeah, I think she's looking for me. Yeah. Her mom's making dinner right now. Oh, there she is. Okay.
Oh, man. So, how have things been going for you, brother?
Obviously, yeah, things going great. I won my fight. I got the bonus. That was cool. 50 G's, and then my fight pay and stuff like that. So things are really good right now.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to get that 50K bonus, huh?
Yeah, it really is. It's a game changer. It's way, way better than any other. Just my fight purse for sure.
Yeah, we don't know your fight purse, and we don't want to know your fight purse. That's between you and the UFC. But we do like that. We see guys get these.
It's the same as everybody's.
Bonuses.
Yeah, it's the same as everybody's when they first start usually.
Yeah, well, I mean, you took on a tough guy in Alan Bordeaux, ground pound, round 2. It was a good fight, man. I was sitting there and I was watching the fight, and, I watch fights with my wife. My wife likes fights too, which is absolutely awesome. So we're watching the fight, and, she always asks me, she goes, who's your pick? I said, I'm taking Josh. And she goes, is he the big white guy? I said, he's the big white guy. And I said, and you got to watch out for him because he's sneaky. He's clever. Like all of a sudden, it's going, and all of a sudden he's on top of you and he's beating your ass. And then fucking round 2 came up and you did exactly what I said you were going to do. You were going to fucking kind of be boom, boom, boom. And then all of a sudden you're on top of this guy and you're just beating the shit out of him. And that's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, no, it's. I think that's like been the thing about me my whole career is like I'm durable. He did drop me. It was a weird shot. And it's always a shot you don't see coming that
Never.
drops you. So it was a weird thing where I didn't feel a rock. It was like a lapse in memory where I was standing and then I was on the ground and I just missed that little bit of 2 second window there. Um, but yeah, I've always been a durable guy and that's just a major attribute that I have.
Yeah, it's fun to get on top of another guy and beat the shit out of him, dude. And like Mick Terrell just said in the interview previous to you, goes, you know, because I asked him why he got into fighting, he goes, because it's better to do this and get paid than to go into a pub and, you know, get arrested, you know.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, he's fighting BKFC. I don't know if I ever asked you that. Would you do that? Would you fight bare knuckle?
I will do anything for money. If the price is right, I'll do anything.
Be careful when you say that, dude. Somebody might take you to task on that, you know, and then you gotta, you know, be like, what the fuck?
Well, if they got the
So,
money, let's go.
all right, guys, if you got the money out there and it's the right amount of money, just reach out Josh because Josh will do anything he said, you know, if the money's right. Now, just remember, you can't ask him to do any fights outside the UFC because he's got a contract, so he can't do that. So that means he can't bare knuckle. But, you know, maybe a food challenge, you know, a spicy food challenge. Maybe if the money's right, maybe you can get him to do all kinds of crazy shit. This will help grow his brand. It's like a win-win for everybody.
Yeah, technically, I'm not signed to the UFC. I'm still waiting for a contract.
So really, so you're out of contract.
Yeah, that was my last fight of my contract.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure they're going to sign me again. I would guess. I'm coming off a performance bonus, but I mean, I don't really know how that works. I guess a contract comes tied with another fight. I'm not sure how that works.
I mean, you know, you're 2-2 in your last four fights. So I've seen guys in much worse situations get renewed, but you're coming off a huge performance-winning knockout bonus, which you know you can't sneeze at. So, but damn, I didn't know you were out of contract. So, woo, that's kind of crazy. You're kind of in
Yeah,
limbo right now.
yeah. My manager told me I would 100% get a new contract, but I just don't know how when I get it or how that works. I don't know. I'm
So
gonna ask.
is the UFC where you want to stay, or you know, would you consider going to like someplace like PFL where you'd probably make more money?
No, I think that I mean, there's promotions that are paying well, but I think that being in the UFC raises my, um, what is it, my stock, my value, so
Sure.
if I ever a situation where I wasn't in the UFC anymore and I had to go somewhere else, I think I would make even more money off of that because I built a name and reputation through the biggest organization right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely fighting for the big organization. It definitely comes in handy in the free agency game. You know, when you know these other, you know, Bellator or One or PFL, you know, come knocking on your door. Even BKFC, you know, if they come knocking on your door, you know, having the UFC resume definitely helps you negotiate with others. Um, doesn't know if it necessarily helps you negotiate with the UFC because the UFC is going to pay you what the UFC is going to pay you.
Yeah, I know, right?
Unless you become a big star, you know, like Paddy Pimblett, you know, is, you know, and just a couple of fights into the UFC, he's definitely going to be able to write his own ticket. Um, you know, I mean, but you watched the fights the other night, right?
Yep,
What a
most of
fucking,
them.
I mean, he's got a Conor McGregor vibe about him, that little fucking crazy fucking guy, the Scouser.
Yeah, yes, he does.
He does, man. The crowd rocked for him. He said he was going to teabag fucking. He said he was going to teabag fucking Jordan Levitt. He didn't teabag him. He twerked in front of his face. He didn't fully teabag him, man, because that would have been fucking epic. He shined his ass. He also mooned. Did you see at the weigh-ins?
The weigh-ins, I
He
saw
dropped
it.
his fucking pants and mooned the crowd. I'm like, this guy's just fucking doing funny shit. Some people don't like his antics, but you know, I like this guy for some reason. There's something about him that makes me want to like him, and he's fighting well. You know, and he's fighting guys he's supposed to be fighting and beating. But I think he's going to get. I think he's going to get tested in his next fight with more of a challenge, because he is bringing a lot of excitement, a lot of eyes, a lot of interest. So I think they're going to up the ante on him. But back to you. So you're not under contract right now. You said your manager said that you're 100% getting a new contract. So is there somebody that you're looking for now in the crosshairs that you want to fight that will, increase your stock?
I don't know if necessarily increase my stock, maybe, but I want to fight Chase Sherman.
That's a good fight.
Yeah. And I want to fight him, not because of any personal issue I have with him. I think he's actually a funny guy. I just think that he is an exciting, fun fighter, and he fights very similar to me. And I think that it would be a bonus-worthy fight. Now that I got that bonus, I'm like, I want to fight who's going to give me a bonus, and that guy is going to give me a bonus.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, man. If you're not in the top of the food chain, as far as the rankings right now, all right, then I got to look at fights that are going to make us both a little extra money, and that right there, Chase Sherman's a big heavyweight. He likes to go out there and stand and bang. Devastating leg kicks. I've seen him up close and personal break two guys' legs on the regional scene with leg kicks. Boom, boom. So he definitely has power that you have to look out for. And like you said, he's going to make it an exciting fight. So hold on. Dana, book that fight after you give Josh a new contract. I know you're watching, Dana. You're low key, but I know you're there. He knows he's there watching.
Yeah, no, I think he's an entertaining fighter, and I think I'm entertaining as well. So I think it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, there was a fight that you had a little while back against Parker Porter, and I was sad that they even booked you guys, because this was after I met you and had you on the show, obviously, and I just fell in love with the person that Josh Parisian is. Fucking, you're just a good fucking dude. You're the guy that I want to root for in every fight. You know what I mean? You're a fucking just a big fucking happy-go-lucky badass motherfucker. That's what you are.
Thank you.
And Parker Porter comes from the XFC, which is where I broke my teeth, cut my teeth. As ring announcing and getting into doing interviews and stuff like that. And when they booked this fight, I was sitting there. I remember they booked. I was like, well, that fucking sucks.
Yeah.
I hate seeing guys that I like have to fight each other, because I can't pick one of you over the other one. It's just not going to happen. And I don't want to see either of you lose. I always tell my friends, I'm like, oh yeah, these guys, I know both these guys. I can't have them fight each other, but if they fight each other, I want to end in a draw and a performance winning draw. Fucking, so you get $50K on top of the draw. Nobody gets a loss. Everybody goes home a winner.
Yeah, he's such a nice, good dude too. Him and I we have the current record for the most punches thrown in a heavyweight fight, though. It's non-title from that fight, which is crazy.
Well, there you go. That just makes it even more sensible that we get this thing booked as soon as possible. So I guess I got to talk to your manager. What's his name? I'll call him up right now and say, yo, man, can we get this contract and can we get a Chase Sherman fight? Although it's going to be one of those fights that, again, I don't want to see. I want to see it, but I don't want to see it because I've announced Chase. When Chase got married last year, I was at his wedding. I flew to Denver.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's funny. I had no idea that you. I don't know. You and Chase were friends. That's funny.
Yeah, I flew out to Denver.
You're a bad guy. I didn't say anything, but
yeah, I know. Even if you did, man. Listen, I always tell people this: just because you have an opinion of my friend, it doesn't mean that I'm gonna like you any less. I don't know why your opinion was for. If you had a bad opinion of Chase, I don't know what the reason why is, and it's like shit happens. Sometimes people just don't vibe. But yeah, I went out there. I got to announce him to the crowd at the wedding. It was kind of fun. We had a good time. Went out to Denver. Took a car ride up Pikes Peak. That's like 14,100 feet in a car. Fucking crazy as shit. Fucking like white knuckling driving up the mountain. It was fucking nuts. But it was a good time. So yeah, Chase is a good dude. He's a firefighter. Well, he was a firefighter. He got his whole firefighting thing done, became a firefighter. and then came back to the UFC and put the fire department on hold. But he'll eventually go back to firefighting. I think, he really enjoyed it. So, man, what the hell's all this thing beeping on my damn computer? Shut up, computer. I'm trying to have a conversation here. Yeah, but it's no doubt about it. It's an excellent fight, but I won't pick either of you. I'll just watch the fight, and whoever wins. So tell us about dad life. How's dad life going for you right now, brother?
Man, it's great. I love it. As she gets older, things get easier, but new challenges happen. You know what I mean? But it's funny, like the fair's in town, and I've been so excited for the fair. I've never been excited for the fair. And since at least I was a kid. When I was a kid, I was excited for the fair. But like, I just want to take her there because I know that she's gonna love the animals, the rabbits, the chickens, the pigs and cows and everything they got there. I know she's gonna love it.
Yeah, daddy's a little girl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Are you sure? You look confused there.
No, I thought you got it backwards. I don't know. I heard it backwards.
So I was reading the other day on your Facebook page, this is why I like, keeping up with your page, because, you just share stories about your daily life, things that happen. And I almost peed myself the other day when I read the Applebee's story.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah, for you guys that don't, tell this story to everybody here, because obviously I don't know if everybody has seen it on your page or if they follow you. If you guys don't follow Josh on Facebook, go to his Facebook page and follow him, because he drops real life funny stories like the one he's going to tell us right now about Applebee's.
Well, I was at the gym, and then Jen asked me if I wanted Applebee's for dinner. She would order it. And I said, yeah, that's fine. And I'm driving our Escape. It's like a 2001 Escape. It's like rusted, and it's a beater car for sure. And
yeah.
I get there, and the girl comes up, and we're kind of regulars at the Applebee's, like the drive-through thing, whatever it is, where you just park and they bring the food out.
Applebee's to go.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, car side to go. So
car side to go.
She brings the food out, and then she asks to see some ID before she hands me the stuff. And I'm taken back because we go there all the time, and they've never asked me for ID. And instantly, I made an assumption that she thought, because I was driving that busted-ass ride, that I was there to steal food. And I'm like, she's like, I can get my manager if you'd like. I'm like, yeah, go get your manager. Do that, please. And the manager comes out. And then, like the time in between where she walks back to the manager, I'm like, I'm getting like more hype about it. And I'm like, these bastards. So I say that. I'm like, oh, you guys think because I'm driving a piece of shit that I'm here to steal food? I'm hyping myself up and getting myself angry. And she's like, no, sir. The drink that you got was a Long Island iced tea. We have to card you. It's policy. I'm like, because I didn't know I didn't know Jen ordered a Long Island iced tea. She ordered my food and she got whatever drinks and they're in the carrier. So I felt so embarrassed. I'm so sorry. It was terrible.
Oh man, that's just too much fun. Yeah, I read that story and I started I was laughing so hard the tears were coming out of my eyes, because I was like, this can only happen to you.
Yeah. And it's completely my fault for just making an assumption. You know what I mean? I don't know.
So, I said the dad life for Josh. What's your favorite thing to do with the little one?
I like going to the zoo with her and stuff like that, because it's cool. Because she's like at an age where like every time she goes to the zoo, even if it's like a month or 2 months later, she's like a different person, and it's a different experience for her. So she gets more hype about different things, and she's more interested in the animals and stuff, which is cool. I like that. That's a cool thing. And we got a sandbox for her. She likes doing that. I don't know. I just like hanging out with her. I like on the days she's not in daycare, us going and doing something, just like her and dad, and having fun.
What's the favorite animal that she's rocking right now?
She loves, she has 3 stuffed animals that she has to bring upstairs and downstairs all the time. It's Bunny, Teddy, and her pig, her pet pig. She's really on rabbits right now. She loves bunnies.
Bunnies are the thing, man. And that's cool. You can get her all those things, and she gets to see those animals, I'm guessing, at the zoo as well. Well, do they have bunnies at the zoo?
I don't know. We have bunnies out in the yard though.
Oh, you have real bunnies.
Yeah, well, like they just live here. They live in between the two garages here, and they come out and they eat in the yard, and they're there every morning. So
Does
we
she
can look out
see
the
them?
window. Yeah, she can see them. Yeah,
She's like, Daddy, bunny.
bunny. Yeah.
I love it, and I can totally see you like goofing off with her and having a good time with it. Um, what would you say is the biggest difference you notice in yourself since you became a dad?
Let's see. It's kind of funny. Like there are certain things that I want to change about myself to be a better dad. And like one thing uh, that I do is like if I say something, if I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. So if I tell her Dad's going to do this or this, I always follow through and I do it. I never not do something I tell her I'm going to do. And it's kind of funny because like I have gotten better in the rest of my life because of that. Because I'm trying to be a certain way and be a better person for her. I'm like being a better person and being better in just like my everyday life.
Is it and so and you're noticing how it's becoming a habit to be better in everyday life too?
Yeah. Because like being a good dad is the most important thing to me. More important to me than being a good fighter. It's more important to me than anything in my life. Is just being a great dad. Everything else comes second to that. So it's just changed me for the better. And that's just an example of like the if I say I would do something, I do something, I do it. There's lots of different other things, but there's so many different things that I carry over.
So did you watch the fights this past week in UFC London?
Yep.
What'd you think of the main event, Aspinall and Blades?
Oh yeah, that was man. That was I was rooting for Curtis. I talked to him on social media. I'm trying to get him to come out here and train with me and stuff. He's a really great dude. I'm sure Aspinall is good too, but I just don't like know him like that. But I think that those two guys. I hate that it ended that way because I personally think that those two guys are the best heavyweights in the UFC right now. Even though they don't have the belt, I think they're the best.
The two best, really.
That's what I believe. Yeah.
Based on what?
I just think that their styles and everything. I just think they're great fighters. The way that Curtis mixes his wrestling with his striking is like next level. Nobody else has done that in heavyweight division before, in my opinion. Quite like him. And Aspinall, I think he's really good. Just like his presence in there and his forward pressure, and maybe it's just like internally, I feel like that's a hard fight for me. Aspinall will be a tough fight for me. I think Curtis Blades will be a tough fight for me. So maybe in my mind, I think that those guys are the toughest fights for me.
There you go. Yeah, and it sucks too because that fight looked like it was going to be something incredible. Like they came in, they weren't trying to feel each other out. They just were fighting.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Does that get you when you see a big guy like him go down? Because he landed awkwardly on his leg. Because I don't think it was from the kick. I think it was the way he landed and the way his foot planted. Because you guys are moving around with a lot of weight. Do you see something like that? And does that do you get like a little twinge of fear going? I hope that never happens to me. Because you're a big dude, and it's probably, you can land awkwardly on your foot just like he did. Do you ever think about that, or do you try not to think about those things?
No, I don't worry about that. I really believe in my athletic development coach and what we do, and I'm always walking on pipes and doing all this different stuff, and I believe my knees and my ankles are just bulletproof from all this extra stuff we do. Like I have man, knock on wood, but like I don't get injured ever.
Yeah, hold on.
Yeah, all the wood around here.
I've got my desk is wood. I'm knocking on all the wood for you, brother. God, now that would suck if you got injured. I'd feel horrible because
I think that something on him through training was probably just like overly tight. Like maybe it was his adductors or something. Something was like really tight on him. So when he made that contact or whenever it landed or something, it was just snap.
But do you think it was from the contact, or do you think it was from the way he planted on the way back down?
From what I'd have to go back and watch it, but my initial reaction was the contact.
Yeah, but he didn't catch him with his knee. That's and that's why, because he caught him, with his he caught him with his lower calf, like between the ankle and the shin. I'm gonna have to go back and look at it again too now because you said that. Now it's gonna make me go look again.
Well, he had
But
like he threw it like a proper kick too, where like the toes are pointing up,
yeah,
which is a weird angle to hit on your knee, like a proper kick with your because you're hitting with the shin on the inside, instead of like turning the knee down. It's way more damage to do it that way, but the way it hits is
right.
like the knee bends in a weird way, and if it's
So
super tight in it, I don't
maybe it
know.
was a contact.
Yeah,
I won't know.
yeah. I mean, maybe he'll come out and say what it was at some point in an interview or something, but
Yeah,
where he
it was
thought it
good.
happened.
It was good to see those guys drinking some beer too after the fight. Just chilling out in the hotel room, having a beer with each other. I like that.
Yeah,
Um, it was good. Did
I
you have
noticed
a
that
favorite?
too.
Yeah,
Just
did
two.
you
Oh,
two
sorry, go
big
ahead.
guys? No, it's okay. Two big guys just hanging out. It didn't go. They both wanted a fight. It didn't go the way, but they both just sat and talked. Um, I like seeing the sportsmanship.
Yeah, it's just we're all people, just dudes. There was like a an interview with on the UFC thing where Aspinall said he played Pokemon on a Game Boy, and I'm like, when I was a kid, I played Pokemon on a Game Boy. You know what I mean? Like we're all the same. You know what I mean? Just growing up in different paths. But
Yeah. Did you
it's
have a
kind of
favorite
cool.
fight on that card?
My favorite fight on the card. I can't really say for sure because I didn't watch too much of the undercard. I feel like there was a good fight though. It was it was like a bald head guy in the shorts. I can't remember his name. But
Yeah,
that was a good fight. I can't
the
remember his name.
bald guy in the red shorts. Yeah, that guy.
Yeah. I can look up the card real quick, I guess. I
Yeah, I
don't
got the
remember.
card here. Let me see. Where did I have the card? I had the card. So,
It wasn't. It was not. Oh, it was no. It was the dude that paints his face first. The other guy.
Vulcan Oldsmere and Paul Craig.
Yeah, I liked him. I don't know. Like it was such a weird fight, but it was like entertaining to me, just because
And,
like the failed shots and the going back and pulling guard and stuff like that. But
yeah, that's what turned me off. I expected. I mean, and Paul Craig showed that he could fucking strike in that fight. He was landing some strikes when he decided to throw punches and throw a few kicks, but he kept trying to pull the fucking guard and bring the fight to the ground because that's where he's best. There's no doubt about it. That's where he wants to fight everybody. And Vulcan wasn't having it. Vulcan kept, but it kind of bothered me a couple times too. The referee in that fight, like Vulcan looked like he was maybe going to go down and get in, and then he decided not to, and then the ref finally, steps in the middle and lets the guy get up. I don't like that. If you're on the ground and you want to get up, the referee shouldn't assist you in getting up and let you get up. You got to get up and take the chance you're going to get cracked on the way up. That's how I feel.
yeah, I agree. I could
God,
see like that weird like somebody just kicking legs and it's kind of boring. But I mean, how often is that going to happen? Maybe in a situation like that, I could see like a stand up. But other than
yeah.
that, yeah, I could agree with that.
See, I don't like that. I think sometimes the referees interject too much of their personal what they want to see in a fight into a fight, and it's not their business. The two guys in there are contracted to fight. If one guy's a wrestler, you can't force him. You're the referee. You're there to make sure they follow the rules. There's no rule that says that they have to fucking fight the way you want them to fight. They should be able to fight the way that they fight, And if I'm a wrestler, I'm
Yeah,
going to use my wrestling,
yeah, for sure. I agree.
motherfuckers.
Take your personal bias completely out of it.
Yeah, it's hard, man, because when we see it in judging too, where the judges, that when I say personal, I just think some judges just need some education because when you get a fight and one judge has it one really fucked up score and the other two judges have it in the right score and everybody in the media has the right score and this one judge is over here giving the fight to the other guy, it just means to me that guy should not be a judge anymore. But they
Yeah,
put what they think is important in a fight rather than what they're supposed to grade in the fight, and it fucks guys up like you and other fighters, because that you make a living based on this guy's opinion because that's
yeah,
what it is.
I know. So many people like think there's some sort of scoring that they do. It's like it's literally just a dude sitting there watching the fight, like you and I, and be like, yeah, I think that guy won. He gets a 9 or a 10, whatever.
It's fucking just crazy, I tell you, crazy.
Yeah,
So
especially when we work so hard, and man, it means a lot to us to go out there and to win and to put on a good show and all that stuff. But for them to just like, yeah, I'm gonna be uneducated in my job here and just do this.
and that's what happens, man. I was talking with somebody today, and everybody talks about open scoring for judging and thinking that's going to cure the problem. And the only thing that open scoring will do is show me which judges are incompetent sooner in the night. That's it. It's not going to change the way a guy judges a fight or a girl judges a fight. This is how they judge fights. We're just
Yeah,
going to know sooner that they're stupid and they don't know how to do their job. So um, I think all the judges should be put into separate rooms at a venue with a monitor and locked in there with no audio for the monitor either. Just fucking watch the fight. Send your score down digitally to the commissioner at ringside or cage side and move on. And I think that would alleviate some of the problems. I don't think it's going to alleviate all the problems. Some guys say, oh, we should have more former fighters be judges and more former fighters be referees. But I'm going to be honest, there's some fighters out there that they'll watch a fight, and they don't know what they're looking at.
yeah, personal bias as well. It's a wrestler. If they've
Exactly.
grown up wrestling, like these guys need to wrestle more. That guy wrestled, he wins.
Yeah, he wrestled, he wins. See, Josh gets it.
Yeah.
We're right here, Josh. We're right here, man. Well, listen, brother. I'm glad you got that big win. I'm glad you got that bonus. I'm hoping that they give you your contract soon and you get a nice pay bump.
Yeah, yeah. I hope for that as well.
I mean, I don't know how big of a bump they do, but hopefully you'll get a nice one, something that makes you happy with it. And if they don't, hopefully your management has, found some other options in case the UFC offer comes in low. Maybe somebody else wants to give you more money, So, I recall you saying a few minutes ago, if the money's right, I'll do it. So maybe they can get you in that pillow fighting league.
Yeah. I'll do it. it.
You'd probably kill somebody with a pillow.
I don't know. I'd be willing to try it.
I saw it, man. I was laughing my ass off that they were actually doing it, and bringing in like a professional ring announcer and kind of trying to make a thing out of it. I don't think it's going to be going on anymore, but it was funny to see it go out there. And my boy Marcus Brimage fought in that. He used to fight in the UFC, and now he's doing some bare knuckle stuff. Took the pillow fighting league fight. I thought it was pretty fucking funny.
It'd be funny to have a bunch of top fighters in a room and have a pillow fight.
Oh my God, that would be so. You know what? I'm going to ask you this question, and I'll let you go because you just reminded me. The Ultimate Fighter used to be a lot of fun. The house pranks, the house hijinks, and all that stuff. And it was all cool, and you're finding fighters there. But now the UFC has the Dana White's Contender Series. And it's a streamlined version of what the Ultimate Fighter is supposed to do. You bring in a bunch of fighters over the summer, you give them all a chance to fight, earn their way into the octagon. Do you think the Ultimate Fighter is dead? Because, I mean, this last season that we're finishing now, they were airing it at midnight. That was the debut time for new episodes. I know with streaming, people watch on their own schedule, but still, debuting it at midnight when it used to be something you wanted to watch, when it happened, 8 o'clock at night, primetime show. I haven't seen a lot of social media buzz about this season. And we've got the former champ and the champ headlining this season, in Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes. But I think it's over. You got any thoughts on that? Because you brought the pillow fighting a whole bunch of guys. Yeah. I'm thinking the pranks in the Ultimate Fighter house, which is what I missed. But they don't do it like that anymore. It's not the same.
Yeah, I almost wonder if I don't know what the ratings are and how many people have watched it or whatever. Maybe it's alive and well. I didn't watch this season, but I don't know. Maybe it just needs a revamp, completely change it, make it similar but somehow different.
I don't know if they can. I don't know if they can recapture that formula because at the end of the day, it's a bunch of fighters in the house. I don't know what they could do different, except maybe put an American Ninja Warrior course out there. I mean,
it's like Survivor where they got to be on an island and then they got to play it.
There's an interesting thing,
or The Bachelor with fistfights. There you go.
Oh my gosh! See, you're an innovator, dude. You're missing your calling, dude. You need to be in the marketing and production side of the Ultimate Fighter because you're hitting some good ideas. But I want to see the days like where like Julian Lane melts down and let me big, bro, and some of the pranks where they fucked with each other's food and all that stuff. And maybe it's the world we live in today where people don't think that's the right way to do stuff anymore. I don't know, man. The world's getting soft, and I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is for sure.
Crazy. Well, anyway, before I let you go, anybody want to shout out team sponsor, coaches, Dana White for a big contract, anybody,
Shout out to you for having me on the show.
Oh, thank you, brother.
Yep.
My pleasure.
Heidi and Timothy McDonald, their law offices, True Fit Nutrition, and Phoenix Athletics are my sponsors. Grateful for them as always. Shout out to Dana for that big contract he's going to send me.
Shout out to your manager for negotiating it.
We'll see. We'll see about that. I have to edit that in later.
Oh man,
Yeah,
that chapter is still being written.
Yeah.
Well, listen, big dude, I appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join us. I'm sure like your dinner's probably almost ready. I'm sure your daughter's probably missing daddy. I heard her screaming a couple times in the background. It means
she's trying
daddy's
to
not giving her enough attention, and she don't like that. And
No, she don't like
she
that.
doesn't. She's daddy's girl all the way. So we will release you from the show, and so you can go hang out with your little one because that's your favorite thing to do in the world anyway.
Yeah, I mean, hanging out with you a second though. It was close.
Listen, I'm probably a little less mature than your daughter, so I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, at least she's trying not to shit herself anymore.
Yeah, I just wear the pens and just ride with it now. Fuck it.
Yeah, have you gotten up since you started this? I don't think
No,
so.
I haven't moved, man. I'm just stuck here, Fuck it, I
That's the
can't.
secret.
That what I should do. Oh, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll start wearing the pens during the show. Sometimes they run long, and that way, and it gets chilly in this room sometimes, so it might just warm me up a little bit. So, again, here you are innovating on my show, not just the Ultimate Fighter, but you're innovating cage side. I might have to pay you a fee. Shit, god damn.
All right,
well, listen,
I appreciate you.
Always good talking to you, man. Be well, and shoot me a message when you get your contract. Even if and I just want to know that the deal is done and that you're still fighting in the UFC, dude, because you deserve to stay there, man. You showed them.
Thank you so much. All
right, brother.
Bye.
Be well, man. Josh Parisian. So now we are waiting. We've got what the heck? So I don't know if we're gonna have our next guest on. So far I've had 2 of the 4 guests on today. Let's see. He still might be training. He messaged me, so I don't know if we're going to get Connor Tierney. We're going to try to work that out here right now, but I don't think he is going to make it. I think he's still training, so we might have to reschedule that for an earlier appearance in the afternoon, maybe like 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a different day. So I'm going to give him here a few minutes to come in because we ran over with Josh, trying to make sure I gave him enough time to get here. But like I said, sometimes these days happen, man. I wish things, always went my way, but they don't always go my way. That's part of life. Excuse me. I want to try some more of this background music here. Background music. So this one is called, the one I played earlier was called Dance Pop. This one's Acoustic Cinematic. This one's called Daydreaming. feeding the ducks. I would just turn the music off now. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed what we brought to you so far today with Mick Terrill and UFC heavyweight Josh Parisian. Well, pending UFC heavyweight Josh Parisian, because he is out of contract right now, which we just found out tonight. We did not know that. Hopefully they'll get a new contract signed up for him real soon. He deserves to be there. He's earned his spot. So, but yeah, I think we're going to have to cash out on Connor Tierney. Like I said, I think he's still training. I don't want to, sit here and wait for another 20 minutes for him to show up. So I think we're going to go ahead and cut it and call it a day. Anyway, thanks for tuning in today. We'll try to reschedule Connor Tierney and Mike Perry for later on before the event in August. It is BKFC 27, and it's August 20th in London, England at Wembley Arena or Wembley Stadium. I don't remember which one's called exactly. Don't forget, we got Island Fights this weekend, the 29th, live from the Pensacola Bay Center. Yours truly will be there announcing the fights. I think we got about 18 to 20 fights that are going to bring you guys some really top flight amateurs from all across the country. That's what we do at Island Fights. But that's it, boys and girls. So thanks for being a part of my life today and for allowing me to be a part of yours. I appreciate you all more than I could ever put into words. But always know you're right here with me. And that's it, boys and girls. We are out of here. So until next time, I am Christopher James. You've been Cage Side. Good night.
What happens if you lose, Nick?
Who the hell is Aquaman?
I get Fruity Pebbles, Cocoa Pebbles, I get sausage biscuit. Maybe you guys will see a little footage of that later on because we got some good stuff.
Philip the Deuces. There you go, baby.